Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Wanderlust Wednesdays. This is the weekly webinar series in which we take you on fantastic voyages all around the world. My name is Lori Overton. I am the owner of Overton Travel, and I am your host for this webinar series. And I'd like to thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. For all summer, practically since the spring and the summer, we have just been taking you to just beautiful destinations. And today is no different. We are going to lovely Costa Rica in Central America. If you have never been to Costa Rica, you are in for a treat for the next hour. If you have been to Costa Rica, you know how beautiful a place it is. It is just so lush and so green, and the air is so fresh. I am ready to go there right now. Costa Rica fits the destination that I'm planning for next year, in which it is, it allows for social distancing. It has fresh air. It has a lot of space. The people are some of the friendliest that you will ever meet in the world. So before we get started, I just wanted to give you some housekeeping notes. For my regulars, good to have you back, and thank you for joining us. For my newcomers, just want to let you know that this is a webinar format, and a webinar format is slightly different than meetings in the sense that with webinars, you can see me, you can see anyone else who's speaking, and you can see our screens. However, we cannot see nor hear you. So the only way that you can communicate with us is by putting your questions in the Q&A box. So if you have a questions that come up during the presentation, please put it in the Q&A box in the bottom of your screen. And at the end of the presentation, we will go through all the questions that you have submitted. There's also a chat feature that you will see, and chat is a way for you to communicate amongst each other. So if you see your buddy that always comes here every week on the line, you can say hi to them. You can make your oohs and your ahs there. So you put your chat there to chat among each other, but the way to communicate with the speakers is through the Q&A box, okay? So before we get into the presentation, I want to set the mood by showing you guys a quick video on Costa Rica, and you can start visualizing yourself in Costa Rica. So hang on with me for a second while I get the video going for us.
When normal is no longer normal, what then? We pause. We simplify. We think about what really matters, what holds us all together, what is truly essential to a life well lived. Like finding balance and connecting with nature, with each other, with ourselves. Costa Rica lives that promise every day. And when it's time for you to come and share that kind of experience again, we'll be here to welcome you to Costa Rica. Life's essentials found here.
Okay, so I hope that helped get you somewhat in the mood to go to Costa Rica. And just quickly, I have already planned a trip for Costa Rica for February of 2021. So please keep that in mind as we go through this presentation. I planned it a few weeks, probably over a month ago or so, because I wanted to start planning 2021 trips. So this is a trip that's already been planned. Of course, some of the details we can hash out, but it's on the website. So this is not a hypothetical webinar. This is real. We have a trip planned in February, and I would love for you guys to join us. So without further ado, I am going to introduce one of our speakers for this afternoon. The speaker is Lori Snow. She is the owner of Condo Tours and Travel, and I met Lori maybe about 3 years, maybe three or more years ago, maybe 4 years ago at this point. And Lori actually planned, was the tour operator for me, helped plan my trip to Panama that we took back in 2018. And I love Lori's philosophy because we're very similar. We like working with local tour guides, local tourism offices on the ground that know the area. So whenever I can meet someone who has that same philosophy, we tend to click very well. And it's the same for the Costa Rica trip. So I'm going to turn this presentation over to Lori in a moment. And then she can start telling, Lori, you can tell us about yourself, tell us about Condor, and just tell us about Costa Rica, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks, Lori. Yes, you had a great group going to Panama, so I'm excited about the opportunity to do Costa Rica with you all. Pura vida. You're going to learn that before the day's out. I have been in business since 1991, selling to travel agents that create packages that are customized just like you described. In this particular case, we are going to be selling or presenting Costa Rica to you for an opportunity to get to know an amazing destination. As a child, I actually grew up in the country of Panama, and we would drive to Costa Rica. It was a 16-hour drive or something crazy like that. I was a kid, I don't remember. And I always remember how beautiful it is. So now I go back about once every year or so. This year, unfortunately, no travel, but hopefully I'm back down there next year. And I've teamed up with two wonderful ticos, Mauricio Hernandez and David Brenes. They're going to be presenting a nice little presentation where we'll all interact and share the destination with you. So Lori, if you're ready, we're ready to start talking about Costa Rica.
Okay. All right. So I let Maurice. Yep. Pura vida.
Hey, hello, good morning. Hello, everyone. Lori, thank you very much, firstly, to allow us for being part of the series of your webinar on different destinations. And we feel very, very honored to be with all the potential travelers talking about a spectacular destination named Costa Rica. Definitely, it is a destination that has gained a lot of popularity in the United States. And I think one of the destinations that many people are looking at as a great destination in the post-COVID times. We are going through bizarre times where everybody wants to find fresh air, good social distancing, nature. People don't want to be on mass travel. And definitely Costa Rica, because of its special characteristics, it will definitely destination to be considered for many of you during the next months. So I would like to start the presentation on Costa Rica, trying to telling you why people choose Costa Rica as a destination. There are so many destinations, and it's very important and key for everyone to try to choose the right destination. So I will try very briefly to highlight some of the special characteristics of Costa Rica that makes it unique and therefore a great choice for to travel. And of course, we will be very happy to team up with Lori Snow, with Lori Overton, and here locally in Costa Rica to make a fantastic itinerary, to make a fantastic trip, to deliver all the services, and of course do it in a very safely and nice way. So let's talk about Costa Rica. We will start telling you about why Costa Rica, and then we would like to highlight here in the next slide. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with something basic. I know probably many of you are aware where Costa Rica is located, but for those who don't, I would like to tell you that we are in Central America. We are sandwiched between Nicaragua and Panama. Costa Rica has a strategic location very close from the United States. We are talking about less than 5 hours flight from San Jose, the capital, to New York. So you can have an idea where Costa Rica is located. We have the Caribbean coast in the east and the Pacific coast in the west. So we have beautiful coastline in both on the Caribbean and the Pacific, and we have a lot of mountains and a strategic location very relatively close from the United States. The country, as perhaps many of you know, has gained a lot of consolidation for being an ecotourism destination, and this is definitely because the country has a special characteristic. Even though it's a small country about the size of West Virginia, the country, perhaps the main characteristic of the country is the great diversity of attractions that you can find in such a small piece of land. So that means you don't have to travel long distances in order to experience different altitudes, different type of forests, different natural settings and sceneries. So it's the country and the changes as you move around. So that's something very unique to Costa Rica. Also because of this specific characteristic that we have in nature, about 20% of the country is protected in national parks and private reserves. So everywhere you go in Costa Rica, you will find a protected area or a national park. We have from cloud forests to high mountains, about 12,000 feet. We have beautiful coastlines, as we mentioned, and we have about 12 different microclimates. So that makes of Costa Rica a unique country in terms of landscape and in terms of attractions. Talking about the Costa Rica, we have we are not a four seasons destinations. We are a two seasons destinations. We have the dry season that goes from December to April, which interestingly is the opposite on the United States. This is where exactly you will have the coldest months. Then in Costa Rica we have the warmest months. So it turns out an advantage to travel during those months, even though the country is an all year round destination. We don't have dramatic changes on temperature. So that means you can travel all year round. The temperature of the ocean, for example, during the all year remains pretty much the same. You can swim and it's very mild and warm.
I want to, Mauricio, I want to touch base on the seasons. When you see green season, some people perceive that as a rainy season and are afraid to go then. There are dry pockets within the country of Costa Rica. Plus, it's not like rain from 6 in the morning till 10 at night, that misty rain we get a lot of times in the United States. It can be an afternoon thundercloud that brings in an inch of rain in 30 minutes and then the sun comes back out. So keep in mind that I know we're working on a February trip, which is the dry season, but you can travel there year round and don't ever let the weather influence your decision.
Exactly. The green season is also very nice. Normally we have sunny mornings, and perhaps in the afternoon we have a heavy shower, but something short. But it's not a problem in order to do a lot of outdoor activities and in Costa Rica. Okay, we go now. Okay, about the economy, the Costa Rica is has a very stable economy, which is something very good for any destination that want to develop pretty well. So the economy in Costa Rica is good. That makes it also of Costa Rica a very politically stable country, and that makes things easier for the visitors. For example, US dollars are widely accepted in Costa Rica. Also, the use of credit cards are welcome in any commercial establishment in Costa Rica. So that's very easy to do tourism in Costa Rica. There are many ATM machines all over the country in the different destinations. Even in the smallest town you go in Costa Rica, you will find ATM machines, and the use of US dollars and credit cards makes it very easy for the traveler when they visit Costa Rica. And we would like to highlight on this aspect because I know this is playing a very important role now when it comes to travel. And I would like to highlight that Costa Rica, since 1948, we abolished the army. So we are a very democratic country without an army. So that allowed that the country invested a lot of that budget into a very important aspects of our economy. And one of them was the health and education as well. So the health standard and hygiene standards of Costa Rica compared to many other countries in Latin America are very high. And this is, right now, this plays a very important role in the decision of many travelers. Should I go to this destination or should I pick up this other destination? And I think Costa Rica, we have a very solid base in that respect, and something we would like to highlight to all the potential travelers. We also have an universal healthcare to all the citizens, so that's a guarantee that all the population, even though if you cannot afford to have access to a hospital because you don't have money, the state guaranteed. So we that has helped the country to keep very good standards in that sense. Regarding accommodations, which is also very important for all the travelers, we have a very large inventory of hotels all over the country. We would like to highlight like the small boutique style hotels or small family owned hotels that are located in the main destinations in Costa Rica. So the standards are very good with all the services travelers are looking for: spas, wellness, pools, fantastic locations next to a rainforest or with impressive views of the oceans. So there are plenty of accommodations ranging from 2 stars to 5 luxury hotels in Costa Rica, and that's a very good asset Costa Rica has as a destination. And of course, we work very close from all the hotels, and we always pick up the best hotels, the best properties that meet the criteria of our travelers in terms of budget, in terms of services, and in terms of locations. Gastronomy, this is something very good. Costa Rica is a country that, because of its location with 2 coasts, we get very good fresh seafood. We also have a lot of vegetables, tropical fruits, and our gastronomy, even though it is not pretty as famous as the Mexican or Peruvian gastronomy, we have all the elements to provide very nice elements to all the food, and people really love all the quality of fresh stuff, fresh produce you can get in Costa Rica. So in the last years, we have been trying to promote more the gastronomy elements into our itineraries. So there are many activities we can do in order to highlight this. For example, visiting local farms, doing farm to tail activities, cooking lessons, and we have been slowly trying to incorporate all these activities in the itinerary so people can learn more about our produce and our gastronomy as well. We are called the Pura Vida people, or Pura Vida. That's a phrase you will hear very often in Costa Rica. Pura Vida means pure life, literally, but this describes the lifestyle of Costa Ricans. You know, easy people, educated, nice, friendly. And this is something tourists immediately get it. They put a foot on Costa Rica, they will start noticing that friendly style of Costa Ricans and the pura vida. And another interesting fact about Costa Rica is that because of the education that we have, which is very good, many people speak English, so that's a good, also another good asset for the country in terms of being a very welcoming and easy destinations for Americans. Okay, we go to the next slide. And as I mentioned before, Costa Rica offers a big variety of destinations. This is for me the most interesting thing about Costa Rica. You know, piece of land of the size of West Virginia, very small, but with a big variety of attractions, And then we probably will need to do more webinars to talk about all the destinations we have in Costa Rica. But now we would like to highlight and remark on a few destinations that combine can be the base for a very nice itinerary, a one-week itinerary in Costa Rica. So we would like to introduce and talk very briefly about San Jose, which is the capital city. San Jose is located in the middle of the country, and it is where the San Jose International Airport is located. So depending on the arrival time, we suggest perhaps to spend the first night in San Jose. If you manage to get an earlier flight, we can perhaps it's not necessary strictly to stay in San Jose, so we can move directly to other destinations. But San Jose is the capital of Costa Rica. It's about 1 million people. Is located in the Central Valley of the country. The city is surrounded by beautiful mountains, and the city is strategically located in the center of the country, where then it's very easy to move around to the next destinations. In San Jose, the city offers a good inventory of gastronomy, museums, and shopping. Perhaps we don't have a lot of colonial style heritage, Spanish heritage, but the city is pretty well located, and it is ideal to spend one night and then the next day to start moving. From San Jose, there are many attractions. One of the main attractions we like to remark is the La Paz waterfall. This is located about 1.5 hour drive from San Jose, and is on the way to the Arenal volcano, which is another of the other destination we would like to feature in this presentation. And it's very nice to combine. So La Waterfall Gardens will be, for example, the best introduction to Costa Rica, Costa Rica's nature and diversity. As we travel to this place located about 1.5 hours from San Jose, this is an eco park where people enjoy a large variety of attractions that includes 5 different waterfalls in the middle of the forest. Then in this picture in the middle, you can observe one of the waterfalls located in a pristine rainforest. They also offered butterfly gardens, a rescue center featuring pumas, jaguars, monkeys, and sloths. They also an area where you can spot other wildlife like sloths. There are trails that takes you around all the property, where you can in half day you can witness all these marvels of the tropical forest. So San Jose has also a lot of attractions, such as coffee plantations. This is another activity we can do from for a half-day activity to visit one of the coffee estates located near San Jose, where you can buy coffee and do coffee tasting and experience some of the Costa Rican coffee, which is considered one of the best in the world. Then another area I would like to highlight and is the Arenal volcano. This is perhaps the most popular destination in Costa Rica, according to the tourist board. 7 out of 10 people that visit Costa Rica go to the Arenal volcano. This is right now the volcano is dormant, but it is now in this dormant phase. But apart from the volcano, the area is very famous for its hot springs and spas. It has tropical forests. It has the largest lake in Costa Rica, and this is a destination where we can do a lot of activities, and that also suits pretty well for all kind of budgets and for all kind of profiles of travelers, either families, couples, etc. The farm to table and cooking class, that's another thing we mentioned before. That's something we can do from the volcano. There are many farms and that are open to public, where we can learn more about the agriculture, the produce, visit an active farm, learn about how all the techniques they use, and do a very dynamic cooking class where we can learn how to cook some local recipes and enjoy a nice lunch in a rural area in an outdoor setting. We can visit also plantations, as I said before. Then another highlight in the area of the Arenal volcano is Tabacon Hot Springs. This is considered probably one of the best spas and hot springs in Central America. It's located here at the foot of the volcano. As you can see in the pictures here, this is a river with hot springs, with natural pools. There are landscapes, gardens. There is a spa area where people can hop for a massage.
Mauricio, let me touch on the hot springs.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. It's one of my favorite things to do in Costa Rica. The water is just at perfect temperature, and they have different little areas you can walk to get very private experiences. So if you're a couple and you're out there, you have a little intimate corner in the hot springs. And then the spa service is amazing because you can hear the water running outside while you're having the spa service done. So that's kind of a fun, definite must do when you go to this part of Costa Rica. All right.
All right. Of course, the area offers a more soft adventure type of activities, being the zip line, one of probably the most popular destination. There are different zip lines in the area. Some of them are very impressive with very long cables, very safe too, where you can slide and have all the incredible views of the Arenal volcano and the Arenal lake, for example. The area, as mentioned, has plenty of activities. We just wanted to highlight some of them because we are limited on time. But this is the area of the Arenal volcano, which, by the way, is located 2 hours, 30 minutes away from San Jose. Another destination that we would like to highlight that combines pretty well with Arenal volcano is Manuel Antonio. Now we are moving to the Central Pacific coast. So Manuel Antonio is pretty famous because of the national park, which is this part you can see in this area. That's a national park that covers 3 virgin beaches, very beautiful, and it is considered the main attraction in the area. As mentioned before, Manuel Antonio National Park, this is probably the smallest national park we have in Costa Rica, but it's incredible the amount of wildlife you can spot on on a half-day visit. The national parks offers a network of trails that takes you to all the different beaches. And one of the activities we do is that we go in the morning from the hotel to the national park. We do a very easy walk, spot wildlife, and then we have plenty of time to enjoy it, to spend it on the beach. Another activity we always like to highlight here is the sunset sailing. There are different catamarans that we have, especially when it comes to groups, that we book for a private tour that take us along the coastline of Manuel Antonio with incredible views, cliffs, coves, and where we can spend a beautiful afternoon watching the sunset, which by the way is spectacular. We also can do some snorkeling in a very safe area with coral reefs. We can do a lot of some kayaking, everything as a part of the catamaran or as a tour. Of course, shopping and art shopping is important, and practically everywhere we go in Costa Rica, we can find different options to buy souvenirs, to buy something to bring back home as a memory of that trip to Costa Rica. So we always try to include different stops along the way for our clients to buy different local crafts.
Mauricio, let me take over from here.
Sure, let me. Yes, feel free to do it, Lori.
Absolutely. So Lori and I have worked together to come up with an opportunity for a trip to Costa Rica for y'all through Lori arranging with y'all. What we're going to see here is a few ideas of what we've put together to enjoy the destination. You know, the shopping, the spas, the nature. I'm a birder by hobby, and I will tell you the birding is phenomenal there. So if you love nature and you love culture, it's a great destination. So what Lori and I came up with is going down there and heading into San Jose and spending the night, first night there, and then the next day go to that beautiful La Paz waterfall garden that Mauricio shared about, and then head on to Arenal, spend the night there, enjoy in Arenal possibly a farm-to-table experience, or if you're a little more adventurous, we could do a little zip line experience and also visit the Tabacon Hot Springs. That's a must-do as far as I'm concerned. Once we leave Arenal, we head down to Manuel Antonio. It's a little bit of a hike on that drive, so we'll stop along the way and do a safari boat tour where you get to see some crocodiles and some other wildlife that live along the banks. And then when you're in Manuel Antonio, you got to do the must-do national park tour, maybe do a cooking class that evening at the hotel or one of the local restaurants. There's some great restaurants in the area. And then we give you a little free time on your last day, so you can just relax R&R, or if you're a little bit more adventurous, maybe go on a sunset sailing cruise, then head back to, I don't know, and what we didn't touch on here is coffee. And we definitely going to include a coffee visit on the return from Manuel Antonio, because that's a must buy when you're in Costa Rica. You got to bring home some of the coffee. And they also do some chocolate covered coffee beans that are absolutely delicious. I'm actually not a coffee drinker, but I'll eat those coffee beans all day long. And the smell of coffee is wonderful. So this is kind of an overview of what we've done. Mauricio, you did a phenomenal job on sharing those two areas. And he's right, Costa Rica has so much to offer. In just 7 days, we can jam in a lot and make it a remarkable experience. But I know probably what's pressing heavy on a lot of y'all's minds is the safety protocols that are being put in place to ensure safe travel. We have unveiled a line of what we call a safe escape travel experiences. And so I'll let Mauricio touch on those.
Thank you, Lori. Yes, of course, everybody now is concerned about health. And as mentioned before, this is something we have always focused to. And not only ourselves here, talking about our locally in our company, but also the country as a whole has established very strict protocols in order to guarantee all the visitors that they will enjoy their stay in Costa Rica without any issue. So we have, right now, those are the health protocols we are implementing and following. But of course, it's important to highlight that for next year, probably this will be changed or revised depending on the present situation at the time of the travel. But so far, we have focused to implement those protocols. For example, guarantee you that we will have the same driver and tour guide during the whole trip. That's very important. We don't want to change guides, and those will be strictly with us from day 1 to day 7, for example, in this case. Our guides and drivers will be asked to attest 48 hours before they take the group to be tested on the coronavirus. The bus will be disinfected daily, in the mornings and then at night. All hotels in Costa Rica are stuck to these protocols that are designed by the tourist board together with the health ministry of Costa Rica, and they are strictly implementing all the cleaning and all the patterns they have to follow directly, and also they are daily checked, which is very important. And in order to speed all the process with the hotels, we have implemented express check-ins and check-outs at all the hotels in order to make these processes easier and safer for everyone. Next. All right. I think we will have, some of you may have some questions, and we will be happy for the remaining part of the webinar to answer any questions or doubt or suggestions you may have. We'll be happy to answer them, all of them. So I let Lori to take over the presentation and pass you the mic.
I do see a couple of questions that have popped up. What is the most unique hotel we could experience in Costa Rica? On this particular itinerary we've put together, we've got you going to Arenal, and a further question is, will we have a view of the volcano? And the hotel we've selected does definitely have a view of the volcano. Also has a lot of lush greenery on the property. So not only do you get the volcano views, you'll get all the beautiful flowers. Last time I was there, there was a sloth hanging out in the tree right outside the lobby. Just decided to walk on through that part of the community. So you will get a lot of exposure to the nature that's in the area. Which tours involve extension, hiking, and standing? Well, we can modify for any of it. If you're a hiker, we can make it more intense. For example, the Arenal volcano, that's a great hike around the base of it. So if you're a walker or a hiker, that's something you would want to do. Same with the waterfall gardens. They have some hikes around there. At Manuel Antonio, there's hikes. So if you're not a hiker, don't worry. We've got alternate options for you. And if you are, we can handle those as well.
Yep, I would just tell folks to let me know when you sign up for the trip or before you sign up for the trip if you have some mobility concern, because then we can be prepared and make alternative options for you before the trip, and not trying to scurry at the last minute when we find out, during the trip, we have one or two person that prefer not to do the walk. So I've been able to accommodate most people's concerns on each trip. Just let me know ahead of time, and we will make those arrangements for you, because this is definitely a destination that I believe that everyone can enjoy with some preparation.
I agree. Mauricio, I'm going to need your help answering the next question. Are there any tours that include visiting the Afro-Costa Ricans of African ancestry in Costa Rica, San Jose, or any of the other?
Well, let me answer this. It is possible, perhaps not in this format of itinerary we just showcase. But there is an important Afro descended population in Costa Rica that is located on the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica. People that came in the 19th century from Jamaica and other Caribbean islands in order to help with the construction of the railroad that connected San Jose with the Caribbean. So we have a large population and a lot of Afro-Caribbean people living in that area. In the itinerary that we just put together as an example, we are not covering that area, but we are covering the Pacific coast. But for people that are interested in that, and I think with Mrs. Overton, we could eventually all together design an itineraries or more personalized itineraries that try to cover those areas. That's also areas that are very beautiful. For example, the area of Tortuguero, which is where the green turtles came to lay eggs at night, and some areas in this South Korean area, which feature very beautiful beaches too. So it is possible, but that would be on a different itinerary, as this one doesn't cover that specific area.
Yep. So if that's on the Caribbean side, is that something that could be done at the end after you go back to Arenal? Like, is that something that if a person had a particular interest, they could add on at the end of the trip, for instance?
I might suggest that as beforehand. Mauricio,
do it before?
Yeah, I definitely will suggest perhaps visit Tortuguero National Park on the Caribbean coast. Do a 2-night, 3 days tour in the area. There are many nice lodges. This area is more isolated. Perhaps is not the type of a resort area you can find in other coastal areas. The area of Tortuguero is like a small Amazon. In fact, there is no road where you have to either go with a boat or with a domestic flight. So that makes of this area that the nature has been untouched. It's a very nice experience, very beautiful, 100% rainforest. And then we can offer this as an add-on before the trip. And then we can combine it with the volcano, Arenal volcano, and then Manuel Antonio. So it will be like a coast to coast. If you see, we go from the Caribbean to the Pacific. So we go from the two coasts.
And how long would you spend in that area? Is it like 2 nights, 3 nights, 1 night?
2 nights.
2 nights. Okay.
2 nights. Yeah, 2 nights.
Okay.
So Brenda asks, is there somewhere we can stay that gives us views of the volcano or tropical forest? Actually, the hotel we have selected does definitely give you a beautiful volcano view. In fact, that property even has some small hot springs on there, so you'll be able to do that. Is dipping allowed in the waterfalls? Yes.
Yes, it is. It is possible, but in this one, at La Paz waterfall, I think this is not allowed. But there are many other waterfalls in Costa Rica where you can dip there. That's not a problem. For example, in the area of Arenal volcano, there is a beautiful waterfall. It's called La Fortuna waterfall, where it's possible to dip there. But in this specific waterfall, I'm afraid this is not possible as far as I understand.
Okay. All right. Now, how long a trip is suggested? The one that we've put together with Lori is a 6-night, 7-day package. And I'll skip over a question here because somebody asked about the number of nights at each hotel. This particular package, we do spend the first night in San Jose. The tentative air plan is a late arrival. Then we spend 2 nights in Arenal, and then we spend 3 nights in Manuel Antonio. So you do have that first night because of the late arrival. We just can't get you all the way to Arenal. So you will have that first night and then the next morning for 2 and 3. So hopefully that answers that. Mauricio, if you could answer the question, are there currently victims infected by the coronavirus? If so, approximately how many? If you could give us an update on the virus.
Yeah, there are there are victims of the pandemic here. Unfortunately, we are not an exception of that, even though I can say Costa Rica has done a very good management of the situation. And it wasn't until the last 4 weeks that we start experiencing a small spike. But for the first 3 months since it started, we had very few people dead. Right now, I don't know, David, if you have fresh information on the number of casualties that we have so far in the pandemic.
Around 180 total.
180 people. 180 people. So the numbers are not alarming. The population has been acting very responsibly, and now this week we have been seeing the cases dropping again. So we are now waiting for better results on that, better outcome on this week and the next week.
Okay, so great question. What time of year is the itinerary suggested? Right now, Lori and I have worked up an itinerary for February. We can always change it, again, depending on how things are in the world. That's our tentative plan, is to go in February. I don't know about you guys, but I'll be ready to go in February for a lot of reasons.
Me too. Yeah, I'm ready to go. You know what? And I put it out there for February. You know, we did plan it a couple of months ago. You know, although in the U.S. things are spiking, but I'm hoping that by then it'll be better. So I'll have a poll at the end of the webinar and asking, you know, when are folks ready to go? Is February too soon? Do you think later on in the year will work best for you? You know, if I got 10 of you guys, I'll go. I'll go. And because I think, you know, we will learn a lot between now and then. You know, we'll learn how to travel more safely. Of course, nothing is 100%, but I think we'll have some learning that will teach us how to manage the coronavirus infection. Is going to be with us for a while. And we are taking the necessary precaution, as Mauricio went over, by, you guys all know, if you travel with me, all my tours are private anyway. So I think we have a leg up on some of the things that, I mean, some of the things that Overton Travel already does, we will continue to do. When we take a group, it's just our group. So whoever comes with our group will be with us. We will have our own vehicle. We'll have the same vehicle throughout the entire tour. We will have one tour guide throughout the entire tour. We'll have one bus driver throughout the entire tour. So that limits our exposure to different people. This type of tour is very nature driven. And so we don't have any indoor activities such as going to museums and things like that, where, you know, the probability of spread is higher indoors. So there's a method to the madness here. That's why we have a lot of the activities that we do are in the parks, at the waterfalls, at the hot springs. Most of our hotels, if not, we'll see, I think the rooms may have balconies, or you have, if your room doesn't have a balcony, then you have exterior spaces where you could just sit out and just relax. So it is conducive to that social distancing and quote unquote safe escape. Safer escape. So that's kind of the rationale behind it. And so that's that. I think some questions are around the flights. I booked flights already in anticipation of us going in February. So we do have direct flights from JFK to Arenal. to Costa Rica. They're on American Airlines. I believe the flight's what 5-6 hours, something like that. But they are direct. Those are the ones that I booked. And of course, if you want to book your own flights, you can do that if you don't live in New York or what have you. But those are from New York, and they are direct. Okay, I think.
I love talking about the weather in Costa Rica in February, especially you New Yorkers. Do you like 16 degrees in New York, or do you like 85 degrees in Costa Rica with sun? So yeah, that's a beautiful time of year to be in Costa Rica. It's about the best you can do. And then do you want to answer that last one, Mauricio? Keeping the vehicles sanitized, clean on a daily basis?
Oh yes, I already mentioned this because this is part of our company protocols, not only company protocols, but country protocols. So in this case, our driver, together with our guide, will be taking care of this. Once you guys finish your daily activity, they will have to follow a specific instructions on sanitizing the vehicles and cleaning the vehicles.
All right, very good. Well, those were some fabulous questions. So obviously y'all are very interested in the destination. So hook up with Lori and Mauricio and my team in San Jose and Costa Rica will be happy to take care of everybody when you all decide to come.
Okay, great. So I'm going to take a poll here. I forgot to take my earlier poll, but I'm going to take a poll here just to get an idea of who would be interested in going and then when. And that'll help us determine, help me determine when I work with Lori on scheduling this trip. So here's a poll. The first question is, would you be interested in going on a group trip to Costa Rica? And then the second question is, when do you feel comfortable with traveling? So we'll leave this poll up open for about a minute or so, and then we'll see.
While people are answering the poll, I will share that on my last trip to Costa Rica, I took some amazing sloth pictures, macaw pictures, other birds, so you won't be lacking for wildlife. I noticed somebody posted or made a statement, they love nature and culture. People are amazing. And the fact they take the US dollar so conveniently everywhere, you don't have to worry about exchanging. You might get change in the local currency, but that's okay. You can use that for your gratuities and things like that, so there's no problem there. It's a very friendly type of experience going to Costa Rica. And yes, most people do speak some kind of English there, some good English, decent English. Housekeeping may be your biggest challenge on the English, but other than that, you won't have a language barrier issue at all.
Right. I mean, we had it's a great short getaway. I know when we went there, it was very easy to travel. The food was so good and so fresh. I mean, I know we've all had beans, but the beans in Costa Rica are different. I don't know what you do there, but we had beans all the time, and you just never got tired of them. So the beans were good. The fruit was fresh. The coffee was great. We visited the coffee plantation, and I brought back chocolate covered coffee bean for my office when I was still working at the time, and everybody was wired. I'm like, oh my God, I should have warned them how strong it was. So the chocolate covered coffee beans were great, as well as the actual Costa Rican coffee. If you guys are into coffee, Costa Rican coffee will not disappoint you. So that is wonderful. And then just seeing the cocoa beans and how, I know y'all love some cocoa butter. We saw how cocoa butter is made, and the beans and the chocolate. I mean, it was just a great experience all around. All right, so let me close this poll here. So I'm going to end polling, and let's look at the results. So we have, a lot of people are interested in going. We have 23 people that are interested in going on a trip. So, but the results are spread all over the place. So about 6 folks are interested in going in January through March, another 6, April to June. So if we move the trip maybe to April, we may get to capture that. we have a couple more between July and October this year, and then a lot more folks, about half the folks that will be interested in going January of 2022.
You'll just have to do trips, Lori.
Yeah.
Trips.
Yeah. So it could, I mean, so we could potentially do that. Yeah, so we'll talk. We'll talk about when we should to schedule these trips. So thank you all for participating in the poll. Thank you all for showing up today on this call. It was great. I want to give my thanks to you, Lori, for you're always a joy to work with. Also Mauricio and David, thank you for your participation. It's always good to have the local people on the ground on the call, because you know what it's like there and can answer those questions. So I appreciate that. I want to thank Donna, who's our silent partner in the background. Thank you for keeping our chat going and for handling our questions as well. So thank you, Donna, for that. So you all know that I'm here. If you have questions, after the call, send me an email, give me a call, a text, or send pigeons. I'll answer it. I hope you come back next week. Next week we are going to another beautiful destination. We are going to the island of Barbados in the Caribbean. So hopefully you guys will join us and learn about Barbados. So in the meantime, be safe, be well, and be blessed. Take care.
Pura vida.
Thank you. Pura vida.
Pura vida.